All right, I want to welcome everyone here to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we have the founder of the Atom Foundation who is bringing us an amazing product that I'm very excited about and a new type of swap that's different than everything you've heard. So stay tuned, and you're going to hear from Yoda, or Jude, who is leading the Atom Foundation, which is bringing us this swap. Jude, are you there?
Yep. Always.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you for joining us today. I know my audience has heard me talk about SmartSwap a number of times, and obviously they can't yet get in there, play around with it too much, and so I appreciate your time to explain to everyone what is coming with SmartSwap.
Sure. So first, let me share my screen so you can see what is the SmartSwap is. Tell me when you can see it.
Got it.
All right, cool. So basically, the SmartSwap is a new technology that we created in the early of 2016-17. It was so earlier back then that it was not even the right time to bring it into the market. I mean, it kind of solved a problem that not yet been even exist. I couldn't even explain to people what is slippage free because back then there was no DeFi. People didn't even know what is slippage is. So it was very, very earlier, but it's not the first time. I mean, we have a lot of product that some of them will be launched next year. Some of them will be launched somewhere 4 or 5 years from now because they are not even close to be relevant to the world right now. And this is our unique skills, right? What we know to do, we know how to solve problem when it's come to liquidity. And when you're thinking about Atom Foundation, you can think about Atom Foundation as a place that we focus in on one thing and one thing only, which is solving liquidity issue on the blockchain. That's all we do, solving liquidity issue. And there's a lot. I mean, there's issue with liquidity when it's come to real estate, when it's come to insurance, when it's come to NFT, even cryptocurrency that's supposed to be the most efficient product among all others out there. They're not so efficient. There is still a problem with moving between blockchain. There is still a problem how to provide liquidity to tokens that they are new or shitcoin, if you want to call them like that, right? And we are working day and night in order to solve all those problems. And today I will share one of those solutions. And when you're thinking about SmartSwap, I know the word swap is confusing because we come up with the name back then. We even, patent, trademark stuff in 2018. But since recently everybody started to do swap stuff, you have banana swaps, pizza swap, burger swap, everything is a swap. And it's confusing because if I was a user, I would think that they're all the same, right? And
Yeah.
it makes sense to think like that. But that's the point. It's not. The SmartSwap, it's basically part of Smart Exchange, Smart Dot Exchange. And Smart Dot Exchange have two products, SmartSwap and Smart Bridge, right? So the SmartSwap, it's basically a different technology than the AMM out there. And just to explain what is AMM, AMM, it's everything that you're familiar with as a Uniswap, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, all those clones that basically fork from each other. And they all work in the same way. There is the same mechanism. There is a pools, right, that you need to park money into the pool, like LP, Liquidity Provider. And if you have a lot of money parked into the pool, then it minimizes the slippage. If there is not much money in the pool, then the slippage is become to be bigger, right? So those pools based of LPs. If there is no LPs, right, there will be basically a big slippage when people redeem or contribute. And by the way, recently you probably saw Uniswap upgrade version 2 to version 3 because they start to see that LP leaving and go to someplace else that offer them better return for their money. So they try to create something that will leverage LP money. If it's good or not, I'm not the one to say. It's too earlier. I don't like it, but I'm sure that other may find that it's nice. But my point with the SmartSwap is that we didn't create it as an AMM. And the reason that we didn't create it as an AMM, is because AMM are not going to survive. Right? This is my prediction. They're not going to survive. And I will explain why. It's not A. I think it's not going to survive. I will explain why it's not going to survive. It's not going to survive because it's not scalable. What I mean by that it's not scalable, is that imagine to yourself that AMM, like Uniswap, is the best thing ever. And imagine yourself that the entire world will start to adopt over the time more and more cryptocurrency, and they will come to play on DeFi like Uniswap. So what that's telling you? They're telling you that if the adoption will continue to grow, the needs to continue to inject LP money have to follow. You cannot grow the demand without continuing to inject LP money to minimize slippage. Otherwise, the slippage will be huge, right? So if you're thinking about it, it doesn't make sense. There is somewhere, I don't know where, but somewhere there is some ceiling. It doesn't make sense that the entire world will come to play ball on Uniswap and you will park trillions of dollars into the LP. It doesn't make sense that your mother and my mother will park the college money into Uniswap in order to provide LP. There is a limit. Our community are investors. They understand APY. They understand ROI. Most of the human beings, they don't even put the money in the right bank account. They just put it on the checking account. They don't even care about the return. They just want it to be there in front of the eyes. So my point is that it doesn't make sense that there will be unlimited money injecting into those pools forever. There is some point that it will be get to the ceiling. That being said, the way that it's been structured, that everybody clones for each other, it's basically make it weaker. Because if I clone Uniswap and I have my own pool, now I need my own LP. And you clone Uniswap, you have your own pool, and now you need your own LP. So instead of everybody working together, every time there is another clone, it's make it weaker and weaker and weaker because LP diversify the investment between all those places, right? And it's weaker instead of one big pool. So,
and for those that are new, LP is a liquidity provider, meaning they provide it in pairs. So say they have an Ethereum pair with some low cap token, and they put some Ethereum in and some on the token in there to provide liquidity when somebody tries to exchange between that pairing. So every different pairing has to have their own LP token. And so this is what he's referring to as the problem is it's not scalable, because not only do you have to have lots of Ethereum for these pairings, but you have to have a lot of all the different tokens. And so you do have LP providers or liquidity providers that are incentivized to go ahead and put those pairings up. But as the market continues to grow and there's more tokens and more money comes in, it's a pain, because I did a $4,000 purchase on Uniswap between tokens. I was trying to sell a token that didn't have a lot of liquidity providers in it, and so it's $4,000 worth of the token, and it would have created like 20% slippage, meaning 20% lower price that I'd be getting for it because of all the slippage, because there wasn't a lot of liquidity in that pool. And so this is exactly the problem that Yoda's talking about, of how to solve this bigger problem.
Out of many, there is other problem. This is a problem that it's easy to predict. It's like Warren Buffett said, I'm investing in Coca-Cola and McDonald's because if the population grow, they need to drink and eat, right? So it makes sense. So here you understand that if the industry will grow, and it will grow, Uniswap cannot scale. So by scaling, it basically will collapse, right? So, and if it will be so successful, it will keep being forked, and people will still keep copy that. So it will make it weaker and weaker. Now, that's not the only problem. There is another problem that I didn't mention that many times, but I can mention that right now, is that the way that Uniswap been designed is designed to be a ground play for scammers. Think about it. If I a bot and I see that someone opened a pool, I will buy immediately into that pool, and then everybody will rush in and buy as well, and then I will dump on everybody. And this is exactly what's happening those days. Poor people that don't understand the game just go and buy from some pool because they think they're buying something that will scale, and they didn't know that someone beat them before that. Your ends, and it's just bought in the early, and he's waiting for that to be the right moment, and then he's dumping on everybody's head. And there is many cases that people park money into the LPs in order to start with big amount to reduce slippage, and then bot steal the money by doing that. So now everybody contribute a little bit money to the LP, right, to the pool, but that's basically what's creating the slippage, We just talked about it. So
Mm-hmm.
it seems like you go to the right, you get knockout. You go to the left, you get a slap. There is no peace between. Everywhere you go, you pray that you will not get in position that you will lose your money, right? Um, so that's why when we created the SmartSwap, we basically designed it in a different way. The SmartSwap do not have pools. We don't have LP. We don't have slippage. We don't have all those stuff. And I will explain what I mean. When I said there is no slippage, I didn't mean, hey, we have a lot of money parked into the pool, so don't worry, there's tons of money that reduce slippage. When I say there is no slippage, I mean there is no possibility for slippage, because the smart contract that's been created behind the SmartSwap is basically first of its kind technology that do not try to prevent, or sorry, not to prevent, it's not designed to fix volatility afterward, right? By playing with some, I don't know, supply and demand. It's been designed to remove volatility from the first place. So there will be no volatility whatsoever, even no matter what you're going to do. And I will explain in easy words what that means, how it works. Imagine to yourself that you have $100 of asset A and you want to sell it, and I'm the buyer and I want to buy it with asset B, and I'm willing to offer you $90 against your $100. Until today, nothing should stop us from doing that transaction. We can go to centralized exchange and do that. We can go to peer-to-peer and do that. As long as me and you happy with the outcome, nobody should stop us, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's how volatility being created, demand supply. People buy from each other above or below the market, and that's how the market go up and down, right? Now, with the SmartSwap, it's impossible. With the SmartSwap, the technology basically says that if you want to play demand and supply above or below the face value, go to Uniswap. But here, it's impossible. Here, if you're going to sell an asset, the SmartSwap going to know that your asset worth $100. If I want to buy it with $90, the SmartSwap will know that I'm contributing $90. So what's really going to happen is that the SmartSwap going to swap $90 against $90, and then the rest of the $10 it will return back to your wallet. If I will say, hey, I will pay you $150 against your token, give it to me, and you will say, sure thing, the SmartSwap will not let it happen. It will swap 100 against 100 and return $50 to my wallet. So as you can see, there is no possibility whatsoever, no matter what you're going to do, right? Even if you will be hacker, you will hack into the SmartSwap, and it's been tested so many times in so many ways. SmartSwap will say, sure, you want to hack? You just need to contribute $100 against $100. If you want $100, just deposit $100, right? So if you're a hacker, just deposit money. So there is no way to play here, right? It has to be equal, otherwise it's not working, right?
They can't do a flash.
There is
What
no
is it? Flash
flash
loan
backdoor
hack.
swap here.
Yep.
There is no flash swap, flash loan, flash anything. It have to be equal, same face value. There is no play to money laundering. There is no play to bot. Bot cannot play here. They cannot do anything. Nobody can get hurt. But most important, you understand from what I'm saying that it doesn't matter if you have one theoretically LP or zillion billion LP. It doesn't matter anymore because there is no slippage. So it's not like you say, hey, I will go to Uniswap and PegaSwap because they're big. They have a lot of pools, right? Big pools
Mm-hmm.
compared to Josh Mojo just opened a swap yesterday. Here, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There is the liquidity and the swap volatility is not driving by who contributes money as an LP anymore. So that's one thing. So what I'm telling you is that instead of building two pools like Uniswap, we have a different technology that's working in a different way, like a fountain, like the water, right? So our technology is more like a fountain, and I will explain in a second what that means. Now, beside the slippage free, that there is no possibility to lose again, you need to understand that here we also build first of its kind cross chain. And when I say first of its kind cross chain, you probably heard about cross chain before, or you probably didn't heard about cross chain 2016, 17, but recently you start to hear about people that talking about cross chain. But those not really cross chain. Those are people that say to you, hey, deposit it and I will give you wrap it, right? It's basically ERC20 or BP20 token. It's not really you put BNB and get it, or put it and get BNB. It's a wrap token, or they're using centralized servers, right, in order to do cross chain. Now, those that don't understand what that means, servers side, centralized servers, that means that if you want to swap $1, you probably shouldn't be care much what technology is it, because you can take the hit for $1 loss, right? But the moment that people will start to rely on it, and in some point big VCs and institutional and maybe government will use some technology tools, it doesn't make sense that the government, well, they will swap USD to euro or yen. They will go to Uniswap with slippage, or they will go to Binance to log in, or they will use any technology that the company behind it can steal the money and run away, right? People will need to have a technology that is superior, that is absolute decentralized technology. And right now, there is no technology, not even one in the entire world, that is truly decentralized. We work so hard on building it. Every component here, from start to beginning, it's completely decentralized. Even Polkadot, it's not yet decentralized. They want to be decentralized someday, but they're not yet decentralized at the moment, right? So the SmartSwap is the first of its kind truly decentralized technology that can allow you basically to move from side to side. And not only by moving in decentralized way, it's also important to move in a very easy engagement, or the experience, the user experience have to be very easy. I mean, all the time when I'm thinking about user experience, I have in my mind Yahoo, a lot of moving parts, versus Google, clean page, one button, you know? People like stuff that is simple. I have a remote control. I think everybody have a smart TV, right? And you have remote control. Obviously, you can go and click on some place that open many app, and in the app there is many other app. But how many times you click on that and go visit those app? Not frequently, right? So the point is that if something will require you to do 2 clicks, even with your remote control, you give up. Lucky us, the Netflix is one button on the phone. Otherwise, we will not visit Netflix either, right? So my point is that today in the market, in order to move from ETH to BNB, you need to do 4 or 5 clicks, not 2, 4 or 5 clicks. And you need to have BNB in your wallet in order to pay the Binance Smart Chain fees. But if you want to buy BNB and you don't have a BNB, how you can buy BNB if you don't have a BNB from the first place? I mean, they build a catch-22 that you cannot buy BNB.
The complexity is so high. I was walking somebody through it. They had to go to either Binance or KuCoin to get it, then send it to their wallet so they could even interact with that chain. It was so complex. And
exactly. So the point that I'm trying to say is that it's the Binance Smart Chain is a growing network, and a lot of blockchain projects start to use it in order to deploy the smart contract. So if users want to play ball on those places, right, they want to participate in your project that is on Binance Smart Chain, how the heck they can do it if they don't have BNB? That being said, there is a lot of exchanges out there that do not potentially selling BNB because they find that BNB is Binance and Binance is competitor, and they don't want to support the competitor, right? It makes sense. So what's happened here is that people want the freedom to move and engage with any project on any chain, but it's not easy. And I'm not talking about only Binance. Binance is today, Tezos, Cardano, Tron, Polkadot is tomorrow, and who knows, many other networks will continue to come, right? So you need to understand that over the time, we will have a lot of networks that will continue to grow and grow and grow. And it doesn't make sense that every time you as a project have a smart contract, you will go and deploy it on so many blockchains just because they have more community and more opportunity. It doesn't make sense. You will have multiply project everywhere, and then you will have multiply type of tokens, and every user every time is want to play with your contract versus somebody else, you need to go someplace and change. I mean, all that, it's not really friendly, right? And it's a barriers. And all the time you need to think about all that in a way that, like, think about cell phone, right? If you have a T-Mobile and I have a TNT, it doesn't make sense that I will have both just because we want to talk, right? We should talk
it
regardless
does
to
make
which
sense.
network we chose personally, correct? So
Now, is
that's
there
the
any
idea of the
chance
SmartSwap.
I can get you back on screen? I'm able to see you, but the viewers are only able to see your screen right now, and they can't see you as much. But we're probably about to get into the Smart Swap exchange, so whatever makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, so now that we explained the SmartSwap that is basically slippage free and cross chain, let's do even demonstration, right? Let's see. Right now, it's not yet went public. We didn't yet. I mean, it's live. You can go and swap and use it, but we didn't make noise yet in the world to let the people to know, the public to know that it exists, because we want our own community to play with that and check it out and see what we're missing. Maybe there is some issue or some bugs. I'm not familiar with technology in the world that is bug free, right? There is always something that you miss. So it's better to do testing and check what is it that we're missing right now. So if you go to the SmartSwap, the idea is that you basically pay, you pay the fees, right? The Binance Smart Chain fees, you pay it with it, right? You don't pay it with, with BNB. So you just pay with the token that you swap with. So if I want to swap, right? So let's say I want to swap $100 against $100, right? So let's do a swap, right? And the moment that it will swap, I will open the ledger. Give me 1 second, just a second, to do another thing as we talk. Can you see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So another thing is important is that there is no double click, which means you're doing one click, right? And that's it. There is no double click, which means you don't need to do another click to claim the token. You don't need to provide another wallet where you want to receive the token. Obviously, it's possible later on by the setting to say, hey, take my token for wallet A, but I want you to send it to wallet B. But right now, basically, it's sending back to the same wallet that you invest from, right? And the moment that it will be processed, right now it's moved from one side and we're waiting for the ledger to process the other side. The moment that it will be processed, I will open the ledger and we'll be able to review the transaction. Now, let's talk about the most important part here in the SmartSwap, because the most important part is not the slippage free or the cost chain, right? Those are two very powerful components that they are bringing added value to the SmartSwap, but they're not the most important part. The most important part is the liquidity part. You remember what we do as a company? We're solving liquidity issues, right? And I want to explain to you how the SmartSwap will have more liquidity from day one, more than the entire DeFi industry combined, right? So that's the powerful of the SmartSwap, how to have unlimited liquidity. And I will explain you remember I told you that it works like a fountain? I will explain you what that means. So imagine to yourself that you want to buy $50,000 BNB, right? And you come to the SmartSwap, you push your order, and let's say you are the only person on earth that ever participated in the SmartSwap. Nobody used it before you. What will happen? The answer is nothing. The answer is that your order will be pending because the SmartSwap is by definition peer-to-peer decentralized. There is no custodial, there is no KYC, there is no account, there is no. We are not the counterparty. It's completely decentralized. So your order will be pending. Now, how we make sure that that will not happen? How we make sure that when people come to the SmartSwap, their order will not be pending? The answer, assuming that there is no peer-to-peer, there is no real counterparty, the answer is by have a swap provider. So Uniswap have liquidity provider, we have swap provider. They have LP, we have SP, right? So the swap provider, basically every person can be a swap provider. I will give you an example. Let's say you go to your Binance account, and later on it will be any centralized exchange account. And you basically utilize our API and you log to your account the API. It's like one click and you're done. What that mean? That means that you can send to the SmartSwap $100,000 BNB. And you don't need to worry that it will take 50 minutes or 1 minute or 1 hour to Binance to send it. And you don't need to worry that when you send it until people will take it, there will be volatility because the SmartSwap always going to give you the face value that it's really worth, which means if the value in the market of BNB increased by 10%, the SmartSwap will not longer give you $100,000 back. It will give you 110. If the price will go down by 10%, it will give you 90. But if you don't want to receive 90, then you can say to the SmartSwap, swap my BNB only if it's returning no less than. You can put a floor, like limit order. You can say, if it's less than $100,000, don't swap it with somebody else. Don't match my order, right? So by doing it like that, you kind of put a floor and protecting, from dollar point of view, what is it that you want to receive back. Now, if you send $100,000, what that means? That means that you provide basically liquidity, and I can come in with $50,000, with $1, with $5, with $100, and immediately to swap, correct?
Mm-hmm.
because your money is there. Let's see. There is still no. We will hope that during this demonstration there is a peer-to-peer liquidity provider, because right now you can see here we've made in the last few days 78 transaction, right? With 45,900,000 dollars. So it's kind of a very small community play with that. So not all the time there is a counterparty, right? So let's hope that during this demonstration there will be counterparty to fulfill the order. So and that's, by the way, because there is no yet swap provider here on this version. We didn't add the swap provider. This is only straightforward peer-to-peer. So once we have a swap provider, what that means is that your money will wait basically into the SmartSwap, and people immediately will be able to take those orders, right? And then what will happen? Let's say someone took your BNB and contribute $50,000 each in exchange. The $50,000 will come to your account, your Binance account, and then it will be sold and buy BNB again, and then you will inject again to the SmartSwap. So think about it like send, receive, repeat, send, receive, repeat. But the beautiful thing about this send, receive, repeat as a fountain is that few stuff. Number one is that when you basically selling on the SmartSwap, you're selling based on average market cap. All the prices in the SmartSwap, they're basically based on the average market. So you can see here, if I will open a new SmartSwap, you can see here that you cannot say how much you want your BNB or your ETH to be worth, right? You basically say, I want $100, you get $100. There is no possibility to get above or below. And it's not you to decide what's the value of the BNB and ETH. It's the market. It's taken from the market. So my point is that when you're selling on the SmartSwap your BNB or your ETH, it's been sold on market average price. But when you go back, or the API do it for you, when you go back and buy BNB from Binance, you buy below the market. So because what is market? Average market. Average market meaning that somewhere there is price that's been sold above the average, and somewhere there is price that's been sold below the average, right? So if you can sell on average and every time buy below the average, basically you're gaining a spread, right? And by using the floor as a swap provider, you can say, hey, take my BNB, but return to me instead of $100,000, give me only if I get back 103 or 4 or 5. You can even decide what's the spread that you're looking for, right? You can kind of guarantee yourself to get a spread. So the point is that every time you do send, receive, repeat, your money, let's say you send $100,000, you got $100,000. You buy more BNB. Now you're selling $110,000 BNB, you get 110. Now you buy more BNB, you sell it again at 120. So every time it's coming back with more BNB and sell them on the market and then creating a spread. So it's not different than put together equipment, like you have equipment for Bitcoin that's mining Bitcoin for you and you go to sleep, right? Here, you can put money in your own account. You don't need to park it and get LP token and nothing. It's your own account on Binance. You control it, right? So you can basically, from your own account, provide swap to the world, and you can increase the amount of the BNB or the ETH every time that you're doing it. Now, one thing is that on Uniswap, when you park in your money, let's say you park $1 million on Uniswap. First, it's only $1 million, correct? Maybe today with version 3, there is some leverage if you will play actively, right? But it's not passive anymore. But second, if you compare it to the SmartSwap, it's not $1 million. If you have $1 million, because the circulation, because the fountain, it can be circulate 100 times a day, right? It can go send, receive, repeat, send, receive, repeat. So $1 million can become to be 10 million or $100 million. So it's like leveraging that so many times, and every time it's come back with a spread that you can guarantee to receive it, not hoping to receive it, right? So my point here that this technology not only can drive money from centralized exchange in decentralized way into the DeFi industry, but also liquidity provider on Uniswap can gain more for their money over here. First, because it's circulated many times, and second, because they have spread, and spread is by far more better than 0.3% fees, right?
Yeah, so the incentives are huge for liquidity providers to come over and become swap providers.
Exactly. Liquidity provider will do by far more money here than they will do on traditional AMM. And me as a user, I basically will be able to come and swap, right? Let's see, I see someone as a counterparty sent his own BNB against our ETH. So you see, even though if it's small community and it's not open to the public, by very short time, some other people, right, want to swap against. So it's not a testnet, it's a real-time transaction, right? So we sent $100, but at the time of the swapping, the ETH went down. So you see 99.18. So what's happened, we didn't really send to the SmartSwap 100, right? We plan to send 100, but until the swap, until we wait for the counterparty, at the time of the swap, it was 99.18. So therefore, we have to receive the same face value. So you can see here, I send it from 6,880. That's my account that I use. And I received it back, right? You see here, 6,880, right? So I receive it back to the same wallet. So there is no claim, right? It's one transaction, right? You can see here 0.2749. That's equal exactly to that amount, right? From face value point of view. So the point is that when I'm swapping, and here I have obviously will be able to see pending and history and everything. So when I'm swapping, I will get exactly the same face value, and I don't need to do anything. And today is BNB and 8 as a start, but by no time we will add ERC20, BP20. Then we'll start to add more network, right? Like Tron, like Cardano, like Cardano need to finalize the smart contract first. Polkadot. There is many exchanges. There is no reason that we will not serve them all, right? And my point for you is that I don't think anymore that you as a project need to decide which blockchain you should deploy your contract on based on which one have more users, because it doesn't relevant anymore. I don't think you should deploy your contract on many blockchains because it's a hassle. I think you just choose your blockchain based on your own needs, and you need to know that people will be able to easily to access to the token that you need without break a sweat, right? So this is the SmartSwap, and the idea of the SmartSwap is basically only half of the story. You remember I told you that the smart exchange have SmartSwap and Smart Bridge, right? So here in the SmartSwap, I showed you how we can do one-click swap, right? But now I want to explain to you how we can do a swap without a click. And that's important, because swap without a click, it's a game changing. It's actually the only game changing that's going to take this industry from whatever it is right now to really full adoption, right? And I will explain you what that means. When you have a credit card, right, like Visa, MasterCard, and you go to some foreign country, I don't know, let's say Dubai, right? You do not create new credit card with dinar in it, or you don't go and purchase dinar and load it into your credit card as a debit or something like that. You just go and pay with your credit card. They somehow get dinar. You somehow come back home and pay euro, dollar. So you're not stupid. You know that somebody done something behind the scene, but frankly, you don't care. You don't want to be care. You have so much care in your life that this is the only thing in your life that you're glad that you don't need to care of, right? Nobody sent you to NASDAQ to swap or log into Binance and to put order on the order book, right? So my point is that there is no reason why will act differently in very short time. In my prediction, I assuming that during the next few years, digital money, and China and Israel already ahead of everybody else, and South Korea and other already start to explore. And it's just a matter of time until it will happen. And once it will happen, people will have digital government money. They will have cryptocurrency like BNB, ETH, whatever. They will have NFT. They will have certificate. They will have a patent digital. They will have the car. They will have the house ownership, whatever. Everything will be digital, and they will hold it. Nobody going to have 20,000 wallets. I mean, people, even there is 20,000 possibility for credit card, people usually holding 3 to 5, right? So people going to have minimum, maybe you will not have one wallet, but you will not have 20,000 wallets. You will have 3 to 5 wallets, maybe even 2 to 3, and you're going to manage everything in that wallet, right? And then what will happen is that when you will go to Dubai, you will want to pay with BNB or with ETH or with Cardano or with your NFT or who know which what. And the other counterparty, which is the falafel store, you want to receive dinar. And you should not care how you're receiving dinar. If you want to go to Binance Smart Chain, to project that need BNB, you want to pay with ETH, or you want to pay with BTC, or you want to pay with maybe your shitcoin even. You want to pay with whatever you have, digital money, government money, whatever you have. And the other counterparty need to receive whatever he need. And that's the game changing with the smart bridge. The smart bridge is basically a technology that came as a layer on top of your wallet. And once it's on top of your wallet, and we don't need to integrate that user by user. We just need to go to the wallet company and give it to them, and then it's for everybody, right? Once it's integrated in the wallet, let's say it's integrated into the MetaMask or Trust Wallet or any type of wallet, right? It's turning the wallet to be a master wallet overnight. Boom. What that means is that you can go with your wallet right here, right now to Binance Smart Chain, pay with ETH, they will get BNB. You don't care. You don't swap anything. Nobody asks you to go to some Uniswap, PancakeSwap, even inside swap like you have today in Trust Wallet. You don't do double click. You don't do anything. Just pay with BNB and they'll get it. You pay with digital money, they get the dinar, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. And if you think about it, in the future, and that's how we thought the SmartSwap will be, by the way, we didn't protect the SmartSwap from patent from our own community. We did patent in order to protect it from the bank and bully players, financial players in the Nasdaq and other places. Because if you think about it, the biggest industry is not cryptocurrency. The biggest industry is the forex industry. It's digital money, government money, euro, dinar, yen, all those that is trillions of dollars that moving around every day. And people are not going to send you to Uniswap or Binance or centralized exchanges or centralized technology in order to move dollar. No institutional will play ball with centralized technology that they can lose the money to, right? So the smart bridge and the SmartSwap can basically allow you to take over the forex industry. Can you imagine to yourself that you can pay with digital money and the other guy get BNB? You pay with BNB and somebody get digital money, right? Government money. If everything will be so easy that you pay with what you have and the counterparty gets whatever you need, that will be mass adoption because the public doesn't need to do anything. The government and the bank going to give them a wallet because the government digital money will force them to have a wallet. And by having a wallet, that's it. It's opened the door to basically bridge all the digital everything in the world in one way without even asking someone to do, the person to do any click, right? So as you can see, the SmartSwap technology and the Smart Bridge technology is so superior that I know again that it's called swap and it's confusing, but it's not a swap, it's not AMM. It's the foundation of the entire future financial industry. It can change the game completely and turn it upside down in a way that when everybody going to do something, right, someday, it's going to go through this technology. It's this technology going to be the foundation to move all the money in the world, right? Think about how big it can be. Now, when it comes to, let's talk about marketing. Let's talk about sales, right? How that going to play. So if people know me already, they probably know that I hate marketing. I even hate sales more than I hate marketing. I hate them both, right? I think the both waste of time. And I don't think they are not important. I just think that they are waste of my time. We are not doing anything that require marketing. We don't do marketing. We don't do sales. We don't investing in those stuff. We don't spending money on those stuff. Instead, what we do, we have a different approach. We patent everything that we're doing years ago, and once we deploy it and bring it to the market on the right time, we give it for free, which means there is no cost to have a license. And if you think about it, everybody want to clone Uniswap, and now Uniswap didn't want you to clone, so they didn't give permission to clone it, right? Here, because I know that people have the incentive to clone, right? Because they want to also make money. Here, I'm encourage them to clone, and actually, I'm cloning that for them. There will be one click in very short time. In the next few weeks, you will come over here, and you will have here one click. And once you will click on that, you will be able to choose the logo, choose the background, choose the colors of everything that you like. And I hope you go, you will have your own SmartSwap. You can change the background, the logo, you can call it whatever name that you like. Even when we're charging user 0.3%, we reimburse the user for the gas and the fees, right? So you can charge on top of our 0.3%, whatever you like. You can charge 0.5, 0.2, 0.1. The only catch is that you need to reimburse your user too with your own native token. Idea is that I don't want user to pay anything, but you can reimburse them and then you can charge them. So here you can basically add how many tokens you want to reimburse. And by doing it by one click, you will have your own license. And the idea of having your own license with your own design and your own look and feel and your own brand and your own fees, that means that, and everybody will be able to do it by one click, by the way. That means that a lot of people in the world, a lot of influencers that have communities like you and other. I predict that next year, I don't see, today there is some entities that doing IDO or pre-sale and they kind of welcome project and they engaging with influencer, right? You know what I'm talking about. I don't think it's going to survive. And if it's going to survive, it's going to have heavily competition. I think soon, if not even very short time, next year for sure, you're going to see a lot of influencers gathering together like micro VC, that will be micro influencers community, and they will say, hey, I have 1 million users, he have 100,000, he have 10,000, together we have 2 million. When you come to us, we'll have a SmartSwap, we have IDO pad, we have PDO pad, we have maybe some exchange AMM pad, right? We have everything that you need in order to take you home run. And I think you will find that there will be tons of possibilities how to basically launch your project, right? So I think a lot of people are going to utilize the SmartSwap and have their own license. First, it's free, and second, it can make money for you. Even exchanges, for example, MXC, which is the first exchange that jumped on it immediately, is a Asia exchange, right? With 3 million users, $1.5 billion daily trading. And he immediately said, I want my own license, right? My own design, my own MXC. I want it built in inside of MXC, which means users don't even need to come with the wallet. It's just from inside the MXC play. Now, if you think about what I'm just saying to you right now, I just described to you how SmartSwap can become to be in very short time, probably the biggest network in the world. Because not only that immediately you have all the money from OTC and Binance, and basically what I'm saying to you is that we find a way how to decentralize Binance. We find a way how to decentralize OTC, because why the heck do you need to do KYC, AML, second notification, move money from cold wallet to hot wallet, place order on the order book, second notification to withdraw the money, and then wait 50 minutes to receive it? Here you come, you place an order. If there is counterparty peer-to-peer, good. If not, swap provider from Binance or other centralized exchange will basically facilitate the liquidity for you. So basically, you're engaging with the liquidity from Binance without even logging into Binance, without engaging with Binance. You don't need to do anything, even not going to OTC and do KYC ML. You can swap $10 million from here, and basically OTC behind the scene can facilitate without even asking you who you are and where you got their money from, right? So it's completely decentralized. And if you're thinking about it, if everybody will have a license, even project, there is 20,000 projects out there with their own token. If they will have the license, their own token will be first to be seen, right? Right. Once you will click over here, there will be a pop-up like that. They will be the first token to be seen as a default, right? And the moment that they will do that, right? The moment that they will do that and they will have their own license, they will promote that to own community, correct? So when you have 10,000 users here, 50,000 users over there, 3 million users over here. Eventually, as a long tail, the SmartSwap as a network of exchanges, it will have more users than any centralized exchange in the world. If I am a project with a token, why the heck I want to fork like Uniswap and be standalone and start from scratch to gain user? If I have a license for free, basically, not only the SmartSwap pay the gas and the fees for my own user, and I don't need to take care of that, but basically they bring in tens of millions of users that immediately going to see my token. I'm basically enjoying from free exposure immediately. It's like listing yourself on Binance, but there is no cost. We don't charge anything for listing. Actually, you don't need to list. Every token that is on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap is automatically been listed here. You don't even need to do no action to do in order to list your token. It's automatically being listed.
That's amazing.
So it's a really, taking care of what people need. And the last thing that we built is is how to make money out of that. It's that I mean, everybody that building stuff thinking how to make money. Here it's been built in a way how to create good, how to help people, and instead of keep all the money to ourselves, basically we decided that it's better to give it away and share it with everybody. So we will have a very small piece of the pie, and everybody else will have the rest. Even when we're charging 0.3%, we don't have LP to give them their money like Uniswap. So 80% of that, 20% go to Adam Foundation to continue to support the project, but 80% of that using to go and buy back smart token from the market and burn it from the PDO. So every time people swapping, doesn't matter if it's winter time or summertime, people still need to swap, especially if it's a fork, that there is no such kind of a thing, winter or summer. So what that means is that every time you have 0.3% being charged, that means that the value of the swap continues to increase in the market. It's not like Uniswap, they have Uni, but the Uni is not correlated to the business. I mean, when the winter will come, Uni will get a hit because, Uni
There's no
charging,
burn
they have
mechanism.
a
Yeah.
$3 to $5 million daily fees that they're charging, right? But they're giving it back to the LP. Can you imagine to yourself if Uniswap took that $3 to $5 million and every day buy Uni from the market and burn it? You know what happened to the Uniswap if every day $5 million will be used to buy it and burn it? I mean, we're talking about here like,
Massive appreciation of the
$150 million a
token.
year, if not even more, will be used to burn token. It will skyrocket. But because they didn't correlate that to the business like the smart, they will suffer during the winter time, right? So here everything is correlated. So when you're investing in smart, it doesn't matter which point you come. If you come on the ground floor when it was half a cent, if you come later on when it's $1, when you come later on when it's $10, it doesn't matter because people still need to swap and Forex still exists for decades. So when money will be moved or tokens will move from side to side, that means that the smart will continue to grow.
Because it will be repurchasing it at whatever price it's at and burning it.
Yeah, it have a very heavy correlated business
that's amazing. We love that kind of stuff as investors.
Yes, it's not. I hate, and a lot of people love Bitcoin. I hate the Bitcoin. Bitcoin going up, everything going down. Bitcoin going down, everything going down as well, right? So I understand that people love Bitcoin, but from my perspective, loving a Bitcoin meaning that you just like to gamble and make money, because Bitcoin gives you nothing besides, opportunity to make money. I like projects that solving problem, and I don't care that people will have a Bitcoin. Right now, from my perspective, Bitcoin is a problem because it's damaging the crypto market when it go up too much or go down too fast, right? The only solution that I see to the Bitcoin, because it cannot disappear, you have to be so big so whales will not play with us, right, and trick us and dump it in order to scoop the deep like they're doing today. It has to be so big that nobody as individual will be able to play and manipulate that anymore. Once it will be too big, then it will not, like a gold, right? Then it will not affect the cryptocurrency. And I wish everybody that investing in dope stuff and Bitcoin stuff, I wish them all the success in the world. I think making money, it's important for living, right? But Adam Foundation do not create stuff in order to make money. We create stuff, money will come anyway, but we create stuff in order to solve solution, right? To solve problem. And we don't like to fork stuff. We don't like to copy stuff.
Any chance we could get your screen share off so that we can see you again?
Oh, all that time you didn't.
Yep.
Okay, how about now?
That's great. Let me full screen it. So yeah.
Funny that I forgot that you don't see me.
Yeah, no worries.
So all I'm saying is that, listen, it's a piece of advice, right? All those stuff that I want you to think like Warren Buffett for a second. Warren Buffett's strategy, even though is old and is investing in old stuff, the strategy is never get old. It's never going to get old. His strategy is to find businesses that tie to something that makes sense that you will continue to grow. So he's buying into businesses that if the population continue to grow, the business must grow with that. Must, right? So if you're thinking about it and you're not short-term flippers, right? Like in and out into a Bitcoin, because Bitcoin can be manipulated, right? And it's speculation. And dog today is something else tomorrow. So you don't know what you're buying into. And it's okay to do those stuff. But if you really want to put your money on some places that can grow and you can not gambling, even though there is no risk free. Don't think that I'm saying there is risk free. There is no such kind of thing risk free. But use your knowledge to find project that's solving an issue, and those issues that been solved, they continue to increase the value of the token, no matter if it's a summertime or winter time. For example, if Uber tomorrow morning will start to get credit card and say from now on we only get Uber token, you know that it doesn't matter what's the value of the token of Uber is. People still need to drive. Because they still need to drive, the value will continue to grow because there is demand.
What is interesting,
that there is demand to it.
What was interesting last crypto winter is there's one token that didn't decrease in value during crypto winter, and it had mechanisms like what you're talking about, and that's the BNB token. They continue to be relevant. Binance was, even during the downturn, because people still trade, and they were, because of that, taking a small portion and burning their BNB token. There were some other things that they did, but their token went from $6 to $18 during the crypto winter, while everyone else, all the other altcoins, had a massive decrease. And you're talking about the same metrics on something that people would continue to use during the crypto winter.
By the way, when I say, I know that there is some cryptocurrency that they have a mechanism to burn the token. I don't believe in burning. I know that it's nice to have. I know that psychology, you're thinking, oh, you're burning token, that means less supply, that means more demand. Not necessarily, right? I think if you have a business, if you have a DoorDash, if you have a Uber, if you have a Walmart, and you say 1% from the income will be used to go and buy token from some pool, you're basically not hoping that the public will think that is good. You're actually buying from the pool. You're pushing the value of the token. So here, the 0.3% being used to buy token from the PDO, right, and burn that token. So by buying it, also it's burning it, but also by buying it, because the pool changing the value of the smart have to go up.
Yep.
Have to go up. So
because there's a constant buy pressure.
It's now, don't think that what I'm saying or everything that I'm saying is absolute. I mean, I must make mistakes here and there because we're building so many stuff that they're first of its kind. But all I know is that we're not building stuff in a way that is stranger. I mean, we're using psychology that human beings use. We're using technology that makes sense, that already been proven. We just put them together in a new way. And maybe we didn't put everything together perfectly. So that's why you're doing testing. That's why you usually launch it in one area before you go everywhere. That's why you're launching BNB and ETH first to see how it's going to play before you open the entire network. There is no such kind of a startup, and I build a little startup and so many startups. There is no such kind of a thing that you build something and the bingo. There is no such kind of thing. There's a lot of work, day and night. You're doing mistake and mistake and mistake and mistake, and you encourage your community to tell you where is the mistakes that you're doing, and then your team working to fix those mistakes. So every time that you build something, the goal is to solve a problem, a pain, but it's not a bingo. You have to do mistakes as you go and fix them in order to reach that solution. But if the team is willing to work, no matter what, to solve those problems, and I think if you have projects that went into the last winter and they're still here, right? That's telling you that those guys, they're not here just because the boom of the ICOs or whatever like that, right? It's a real team that's working in order to create solutions. So it's important to know where to put your money on.
No question. Where can people that are watching this, how can they, number one, follow you on social media so they can keep up to date? And second, they're going to want to know how to be able to participate in smart tokens so that they can buy some themselves when it's available.
So the idea of how to follow, we have a lot of channels, but I think when it comes to the SmartSwap, there is a Telegram channel, SmartSwap channel, that the best thing is to go to that channel. You can share with them the link.
Okay.
And if they will join to that channel, they will have firsthand a lot of information and even announcements, right?
I'll put a link in the, if they click see more under the video, they'll have the link to the Telegram channel for SmartSwap there. I'll put it in.
So that's one way. Another thing is that if they want to participate, we are soon going to open a public sale. We finished the pre-sale, but the terms to the public and the private is exactly the same. There is no discrimination. So they will have the same terms, but the size of the check are limited during the public sale. And they will be able to invest in the public sale. The face value and the discount is huge. It's like um, um, if the token face value is 0.01, which is 1 cent, they get almost 50% discount, right? It's 90 days staking with 430% APY, so it's like 50% discount. And then the listing on Dex and Sex will be 2 cents. So it's kind of equal right from the floor, right from the door. It will be equal like to 4x, 75% discount. And they can buy into the public sale. There is limited supply on the public sale, but if they miss the public sale, they can buy into the PDO. And the PDO is unlimited. The good thing about the PDO that in one side, unlike the pre-sale that everybody have the same price, with the PDO, every time someone investing, the price keeps going up, right? But that being said, even if you bought into the PDO at 10 cents or 50 cents or $1, it doesn't matter. I mean, people will continue to buy and stake and the price will go up. And every time there is a swap, the money will be go to the PDO to continue to increase the PDO. And by the way, in the PDO, 100% of the money that people deploy in the PDO, including the fees, stay in the PDO as liquidity, right? It doesn't go to the project, it goes to the PDO. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that if you have user in your community that they are United States based and they're not accredited investor, which means they cannot invest in the pre-sale or public sale, right? Because in the United States it's a security. They can invest in the PDO because the PDO is not a security, right? So in the PDO they can invest.
That's fantastic. A lot of my audience is in the United States, and so they're always asking when they can get in on something early, and so they can get in on the public sale. And because none of that money is going to the project, it stays as liquidity. Then,
Yeah,
they'll be able to
have guideline called Howey test. So since
sure.
the PDO comply with the Howey test and the money do not come to the project, we do not touch it. It's not ours. So therefore, it's not a security.
Fantastic. Cool. And that's in about a month's time. If you probably, I know these schedules are hard. Do you have a rough idea of when it would be?
So it's funny, when you think about technology, everybody all the time like to hear dates and precise dates, and I don't like dates. And the reason I don't like dates is because if I think that something is not ready, if there is an error, I will push the date. I will not launch something with an error, backdoor, or something got forgotten that can open the door to some hacker or something. We have to check, we have to test, we have to audit, we have to give to our community, we have to give to some hacker incentive to try to hack. It's not a copy paste of Uniswap that it's already been here for many years, and we know that it's working. It's first of its kind technology, so we just wanted to make sure that we're doing it right. But we do have a rough estimate, right? We do have a rough estimate. So for example, right now for the public sale, we're planning to do it like days. It's a matter of a few days. We will announce about it probably kind of a few days ahead. We'll give announcement in the chat, right, in the Telegram. And then the PDO will start kind of 14 days-ish after the public day is over. So we're talking about kind of mid of next month, right? So everything is a matter of a few weeks, right? We're not talking months. We're talking about everything is a matter of a few weeks. And we'll, as I say, we'll start with BNB ETH. We'll add ERC20, BP20. We'll add Bitcoin, and we have talked with other blockchain that do not have smart contract as well. We'll try to help them all. And we will continue to grow and add more and more blockchain. And the moment that we will have a lot of licenses, right? Licenses that start to take in that, I think you're going to see that when you're doing transaction, how long do we wait for counterparty? 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, right? I think once, and that's when there is no licenses and there is nobody, right? It's like very, very few people, right? So I think once it will grow, you will have boom, 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 like by instant, you will have a swap. And
You'll have
even
amazing
now, you
network
can see that it's
effects.
easy peasy compared to what's going on today in the market, right? For clicks, everything. It's like boom, I done
Yeah,
one
the
click.
simplicity of this, I do like the comparison to Google and Yahoo. And I remember those days when Yahoo was new, and Yahoo did amazing until Google came out with something simpler. Just so simple, and the technology was even better on the background, so it'd give you better search results. And Yahoo went away for the most part. Not completely, it was still there, but Yahoo was huge and Google was small, and then Google went huge, and now people like, oh yeah, I forgot about Yahoo, because the simplicity behind Google, right?
And that's what I believe. I believe that when you build stuff that first they're simple, but also you give it away, and there is incentive to other people to promote that. I mean, if you have your own license, your own brand, your own money to make out of that, you will have incentive to promote your own business. It becomes yours, right? But
Mm-hmm.
by helping yourself, you're basically helping other licenses. It's not like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, they're all competitors. Here, we're all working together as one big community. We support each other, and everybody make money, right? So it's a different concept. Instead of fight, we're working together, and the user is the one that benefit from that kind of collaboration.
Yeah, yeah, because well, all the centralized providers will have a strong incentive to work with you.
I predict that centralized exchanges will do so great in the next 5 years, because the moment that government will have digital money, and we will help to disrupt that forex industry, which today is kind of it's a taboo of centralized exchanges, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Nasdaq and stuff like that. Can you imagine yourself that people will come to Binance and OKX and Huobi and all those places, and they will facilitate euro to dollar, and you use your wallet as a smart bridge, and you're just going to pay with whatever you have, and the guy will get dollar, but the facilitation will take place on centralized exchange like Binance. If people thought that Nasdaq built technology for the cryptocurrency, and they're going to take a bite from the cryptocurrency, think again. I think the cryptocurrency centralized exchange is going to take a bite from Nasdaq. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
matter of time until all the door will be open, because forex is not a security. Forex is commodity. You don't need to have a broker dealer license in order to buy and sell commodities like dollar, euro, and so forth.
This is going to be amazing. What's funny is
Uh,
one of my subscribers brought your project to me, and he told me to look at it, and I looked at it, I was like, this is amazing. What am I missing? So I reached out to a lot of network people I have behind the scenes that know about all the deals coming down the road. Every single one of them's like, oh, SmartSwap, I love it. Oh, SmartSwap, love it. Like a lot of times I ask them about some project, they'll say, never heard of it. Never heard of it. Maybe half of them heard of it. Every single one's like, oh, SmartSwap, I love it. And I was like, interesting. And then I watched some of your videos on YouTube where you had done some interviews with some of the different personalities, and I was like, oh my gosh, I literally did have to watch the video twice, and it was an hour-long video just to really absorb it, because it's just a new way of thinking about the whole problems being solved. But it solves these in ways that were really interesting to me, because it is looking down the road and saying, how do we address these problems? I mean, you've been looking down this road for a while, and it didn't become a pain point to everyone until this last year as Ethereum fees got so high, as well as, when they've seen 40% slippage or 20% slippage. The combination of both those things really brings it front of mind, which is a perfect time for you to be launching this, because right now it's front of mind to everyone, because just a few weeks ago you could have had a $200 or $300 transaction fee on Uniswap, as well as we've
By
all
the way,
had
let's talk
slippage
about that for a
problems.
second. I said that we do 100% reimbursement, right? So
Yes.
let's talk about. I want to explain that part because it's so amazing. If you will go today, let's say Uniswap will build a feature and say to you, plug your wallet, connect your wallet, and I will tell you how much spread and how much fees and gas you ever spend on Uniswap or AMM. You're probably going to find out that the average person spend $1,000 up to $5,000 gas and fees in the last year. Obviously, there's people that done much more and spend much more, like tens of thousands, if not even more. But the average person spend between $1,000 to $5,000 on gas and fees. Now, can you imagine to yourself that on the SmartSwap, when you and we do not control the gas, of course, it's not our money, it's not our spend, it's Ethereum and other network, correct? But imagine yourself that you spend $1,000, $5,000 here on the SmartSwap over the next year, right? Imagine that you will have a reimbursement staking contract. There will be a link that you will go over there, you connect your wallet, and every given time will tell you how much money you spend on gas and fees, cumulative, right, over the time. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime that you like, no rush, today, tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now, anytime that you like, you can claim that as a reimbursement. All you need to do, let's say you spend $1,000 of gas and fees, right? You can all you need to do, you will reimburse you with smart token. And all you need to do is basically, you need to stake equal amount. Let's say we owe you 100 smart token or 1,000 smart token, right? To reimburse you. All you need to do is stake 1,000 tokens for 365 days, and then you collect both, right? 100% reimbursement for the gas and the fees. If you give up, you put 1,000 or $100 or 100 token or one token, and you change your mind and you redeem it next day after, there is no penalty or stuff like that. You can come back for the rest. You get pro rata, and the rest will waiting for you even 10 years from now. So the point is that any time that you like to get, and it makes sense because if I will spend $5,000 fees over the year, probably I will come and collect that eventually because it's money on the
Mm-hmm.
table. $5,000, it's a lot of money to keep on the table, right? So we don't want to rush people, but anytime that you like, you will get reimbursement for the gas and the fees with the smart token, even if the smart will be worth $100, right? Your reimbursement is there, is waiting for you, right?
That's
You can come
amazing.
and collect that, and that's important because we cannot control the gas and the fees on other network, but I don't want that to be a barrier for someone to participate in DeFi because it's very, very expensive. So that's why and that being said, I don't think Ethereum going to survive as a network next year or more if they will not fix that issue. I see people in some point give up, right? So it's a
Mm-hmm.
temporary issue that they have to address, and they have a time TikTok here that if they're not addressing that on that matter, people will start vanish into a different network. They will
Yeah.
lose the kingdom.
And there's lots of people fighting for that, right? And so, yeah, if they don't solve that in this next year, it's really going to hurt them. And that's what they said their timeline is. But, software development, yeah, we're going to have it by this date. That date might
Sometimes
be.
stuff takes years, years. I
Yeah.
mean, we working on stuff. We have some development that took years to develop. It's not easy peasy,
Mm-hmm.
2 days. Stuff takes years and millions of dollars to develop. It's like very, very heavy stuff. You see, the SmartSwap is so clean, one click, but you know how heavy
So much
the
technology
technology
going
is.
on behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yes, so
Mm-hmm.
much heavy technology and the component that plug it in decentralized way to centralized exchanges, and turn everything to be centralized and Oracle over Oracle with a lot of validator that make sure that there is no one point of failure. We kind of we kind of build our own Polkadot, if you wish to say it like that, but in decentralized way. Polkadot is not yet decentralized. We actually build kind of our own Polkadot here to this technology. It's very, very heavy. So that's why it doesn't make sense to go and build it by yourself. It's better to me give you a clone, by click of a button and just help you to get user and everything, and instead of you do by yourself stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate your time. I think my audience is going to have a lot better feeling of SmartSwap now, and they can see why I've been excited about it. So, yeah, thank you. And I will have the Telegram link in the see more under the video so that people can click there so they can stay up to date.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you so much, Jude. We appreciate your time very much.
Oh, do you want, by the way, to cover quickly something that's important to your user, the dumper shield, so they will know their
Yeah.
quick list about it?
Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay. So it's important. It's important. It's important because your user, you don't want them to be just user. You want them to become to be an investor, right? So I want to talk about something that is important as an investor. Today, every project that raises money and launch himself, if you invest in the early stage, the project hit the market. Probably you have some vesting, schvesting, but by the end of the day, the project going down. Right, the moment that you hit the market, it's going down. Sometimes it's recovering quickly. Sometimes it takes recover over the months or years until it's really recovering. I still see, by the way, algo that is not yet been recovered compared to the price that it
Yeah,
used to be on the market, right?
I
So,
remember.
so my point is that there is something that is not fair here, or not fair. Fair is not the right word. There is something that is not well here. It's not been created well. The way that project launching today into the market, they're not been processed in the best way, because the pre-sale investor, which is usually VCs, they get a chunk from the pool, right? They make the money even with 10% vesting, with vesting with 10% clip. But all those public that come later on to the centralized exchange or to the Uniswap or whatever, they're the ones that pay the bill. And plus the bot that quickly buy and then dumping on the head. I will say that the public is been abused. It's been abused repeatedly, again and again and again. Every project. I mean, in some point they will say die. They will say enough is enough. You know how much I can take it. So here we want to build something else. Here we want, with the SmartSwap or any other project that we have, we want to build something that in one side do not limit our investors with any vesting. I don't believe in vesting. They can. I believe that if you put your money and help the project, you should make as much as return as you like or possible without any limitation. I don't like limitation. As a personnel, I don't like any limitation. The word limitation drives me nuts. So I think you have the freedom, right, to do whatever you want. But that being said, we're all on the same boat. You cannot flip the boat. We'll go underwater. So you don't have the permission to sink the boat. You have the permission to make a decision for yourself without hurting everybody else. So how the heck are you doing it? How you let someone to make 500x, 1000x, sell it as many as you like whenever you want, without hurting the public that the price will go down, right? And the answer is basically by using a damper shield. And damper shield is a new technology that we created, which is basically designed that when people finish to invest, any person that buy into a token with discount, pre-sale, public sale, PDO, when you're buying into the token when there is a discount, automatically that by the end of the staking, the token do not go to your wallet. They go to the damper shield. Now, what is a damper shield? Damper shield is basically a bunch of contract, a lot of contract. We spend a lot of time to build that. And it's basically an escrow contract that you control. It's like a vault. You control that escrow. There is a private key to that vault, and the private key is your own wallet. Your own wallet is the private key. Nobody else have it. Which means, in other words, if you losing the access to your own wallet, you forever losing the access to the vault because I cannot recover that for you. So there is a vault. The token is there, and your private key is your wallet. Now, you can tell to that vault, to that escrow, what to do. You can say, sell my token, and you have two possibilities how to sell your token. Number one, you can use an inside OTC, which means you can sell your token to every member out there that is part of the damper shield, or you can welcome new member to the damper shield. As long as that is OTC, it's not affecting secondary market. You can sell the token half price, even for free. Nobody care. It's not affecting the price in the market. So it's up to you what to do with your token when it comes to sell it to other member or add member to the damper shield, and they will have their own vault into the damper shield. Number two is that you can use the gateway in order to sell your token to secondary market like centralized exchange or decentralized exchange. So how you use the gateway? The gateway is basically a technology that is utilize the SmartSwap and is adding to the SmartSwap. Let's say there is many users that want to sell the token on the damper shield, right? And let's say you want to sell $1 million to your token. So the gateway place order on the SmartSwap is not loading the SmartSwap with a lot of tokens. It is putting some amount of token. If it's sold quickly by X amount of time, next time it's doing double. If it's sold quickly, next time it's doubling. If it's sold slowly, next time it's put less. So it's increasing and decreasing how many to offer to the market based on how much the market can take. It's not loading the market, right? Floating the market.
Without crashing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the time check how much the market can take. And that being said, when you utilize the SmartSwap, it's basically offering your smart token based on whatever the average market is on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. Now, I remind you that average price, meaning that someplace somebody selling above the average and someplace somebody sell below the average, correct? That's the meaning of average. So what that telling you? They're telling you that if the price of the smart token become to be $1, because people buy into the PDO and Uniswap and everything increase. And every time there is a swap, it's been used to increase the value of the token. And CoinGecko CoinMarketCap said that Smart is to $1. That means that the gateway will offer your token $1 million of that you want to sell at $1 each, correct? But if suddenly the value in the secondary market increase for $1 in 0.1 or $1 0.2, the SmartSwap doesn't know about it yet. First, centralized exchange will need to do equilibrium and fix the price. Other dexes, bot will buy here, sell over there, so the price will be changed. And after all those will be changed, which is a very long second, sometimes even a minute or two, then this CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, after a few long seconds, will do new average. What I'm saying here is that the SmartSwap, for very big window of time, you're not even aware that the market increased. Is still selling your token for $1, even though the market is 1.1 or 1.2. It takes time for him because it's driving the market price from CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap.
Mm-hmm.
So what that's telling us? They're telling us that there's opportunity here for arbitrage player, for bot. And the entire DeFi industry, it's been built in a way that bot buying here, sell over there. That's the point of the DeFi, that you facilitate that liquidity by arbitrage. So the moment that you sell a token for $1, and there is some place that selling that for $0.2 or $0.1, immediately bot will buy here, sell over there. And what will happen, they will basically facilitate the liquidity for you. So in other words, if I will let you to go directly to centralized exchange or decentralized exchange with your inventory supply, even if the market is $1, $1.10 or $1.20, you don't mind to sell it for $0.50. You just bought it for 0.005. From your perspective, you're in big profit. You don't mind to take a big loss because you're still going to be in profit. So somebody that buying for you for $1 and sell for $1, it doesn't have incentive to sell for 99 because it just paid $1. So what I'm trying to say here is that we can basically let you to sell as many tokens as you like and when you like it. And the worst case scenario is that you may slow down the token from get appreciated in the market because you add supply to the market, right? But you will not take it backward. You will not crash the price. You will not float the market with token and say, I'm selling at half price. Who want to buy? There will be no competition between pre-sale investor who sell it first at which discount because they want quick exit. The dumper will make sure that you can sell as much as you like, whenever you like, as long as you sell it on the average market price, which means somebody will buy from you and sell it at the market and make money, but you will not sell below the market. So what I'm telling you, it's something new. It's very fascinating to see how it's going to play. I'm guessing that if it's working well, we will see more and more projects launching themselves into the market using this technology because it's a game changing as well. And this technology belongs to another project of us, which we didn't launch, didn't raise money. So it will be fantastic test to test this tool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how that comes together. And you'll be launching this right in the middle of, I think the market has a major parabolic move sometime ahead of us in the next 6 months. Just my best guess, not financial advice because I don't know. But that's what it seems to me is probably going to happen. And so if you're launching sometime in the next month or so, is those tokens are automatically staked for 3 months, if I'm remembering right. At the end of 3 months, they get their tokens back out and the rewards. That would still be right in the middle of the bull market, at my best guess.
So I want you to remember that when you go to other projects that have liquidity mining, as a pre-sale investor, public investor, regular investor, you don't have access to that liquidity on that liquidity mining, right? It's not belong to you.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the PDO is liquidity mining, and that money is belong to you. I mean, you can buy public sale, pre-sale, even PDO, and you can redeem, not directly. Somebody will facilitate the liquidity for you, and you can go to the PDO and basically buy your token and sell the token to the PDO. And the PDO is another technology, first of its kind, that we built, which is designed to be a post. It's not initial offering, it's a post offering. And it's designed to whoever going to buy and stake the entire money go into the liquidity, right? So we can talk about the PDO in different sessions, but
Yeah.
the best idea here is that everything here it's fascinating how it's going to play. first of its kind stuff. I really believe that it will be a rocket compared to a lot of projects in the market, not just for pre-sale investor or public investor or video investor. I think over the years, we're going to see it continue growing, because everything here is correlated to the core business, and it's tied with a lot of financial solutions that make it sense that it will continue to grow. Yeah, and it's fascinating. I welcome people to join us. I think if people want to have more questions, we can always do another AMA, and
Would love it. Maybe we can
answer
cover.
people's question if there is any. But
Yeah.
definitely follow us.
Awesome. I will put that link in the video. We appreciate all your time. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, Yoda. We will see you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Success falling, flowing like rain. The timing's right, we're getting paid. Come on, remakers, let's make this happen.